everyone, back with another Degrassi Season 13 review. We're going to be reviewing episode 35 called Hypnotize. This episode was actually pretty good. Even though I'm not a fan of this storyline, I have to say Degrassi definitely did a good job with this episode. I just feel like this storyline is a waste of time because it was wrapped up in literally the next episode, so it's kind of like, what the fuck is the point? So I don't care for the B plot. We're just going to talk about the A plot, and we're going to go through it rapid firely because it's the only thing that's important. So the A plot is, there's a fashion show going on at the school. Tristan is one of the models for the fashion show, and they want him to design fashion clothes, and they want him to walk on the runway. Mr. Yates was watching him, audition for the runway, for being one of the models and being one of the fashion designers for the show. And Mr. Yates told Tristan he's a very, very phenomenal student, and if he needs any help with any, things with the fashion show or anything that might help the fashion show, he's willing to help. So they skip to the scene where they're in the classroom, and Tristan yet again brings up how teacher and student relationships are pretty much normalized in today's world because they're in TV shows and they are in books. So to him, he feels like if him and Mr. Yates were in a relationship, or they were a couple, or to be hooking up, or fooling around, or sticking around, it would be normalized because that is what the world has done with teacher-student relationships. Very problematic. If anything, if you ask me, everything in this world that should be a problem is now romanticized. They love to romanticize toxic relationships. And this world loves to romanticize depression. They love to romanticize pretty much anything. Drug using. They romanticize everything. Everything in today's world is romanticized, and it fucking should not be. At all. It shouldn't be. Look at all the stuff from You, the TV show. If you go on TikTok, it's a lot of people who romanticize stalking, obsession, possession, killing. The shit that should not be romanticized is fucking romanticized. So when Tristan said this shit, I was not shocked nor surprised because it's that's just the type of world we're living in today. And it's crazy that he said this shit because he caught it before it started happening. Teacher-student relationships are very romanticized. The world looks at it as if a grown man fooling around with a teenager or a teacher dating his student is normal. There is nothing normal about a teacher sitting with his fucking 15-year-old or 16-year-old student. Nothing about it should be romanticized. I mean, look at Pretty Little Liars. I feel like Pretty Little Liars kind of started that because at the end of the show, Aria marries this man. Aria marries her fucking English teacher. And for her mother or her parents or her friends to be sitting at her motherfucking wedding thinking damn, it's not crazy that Aria is marrying her English teacher. It is crazy, very fucking insane for Aria to be marrying her fucking English teacher. So when Tristan said that shit, it's kind of I don't blame him. I definitely feel like teacher-student relationships are romanticized. He went back and told Zoe that in her TV show West Drive that she was in, there was a storyline that really captured his eye where the gay guy was having a student-teacher relationship with his English teacher. And Zoe said that storyline ended with the boy catching gonorrhea, and then Maya once again said that it is not normal for a teacher want to be sleeping around with his student, and she is fucking correct. And Tristan is talking about that Mr. Yates must feel something for him, or he feels like there's something there between them because he's being extremely supportive with his whole fashion sense. And Maya's yeah, maybe it's because he's a teacher and you're a student. And he said, no, it has to be something deeper than that. So after their class is over, Tristan walks up to Mr. Yates to ask him could he help him with an essay that he's having a problem with pertaining to the fashion show. Mr. Yates said sure, and he said that they're going to have to do it at his apartment because after school, he has to go straight home for delivery. And he asked Tristan, would that be okay? And Tristan said sure. This is the first sign of grooming and manipulation. Mr. Yates ain't got no fucking delivery going on. He knows that Tristan has a crush on him, so he's trying to get him a long way from everyone and trying to reel him in. That's exactly what he did. Tristan goes to his apartment. He gives Tristan alcohol. You know, he wanted to booze him up, get him drunk. Tristan is explaining, you know, the fashion show, his ideas for the fashion show. Mr. Yates tells him that he didn't need his help, that he has a very exceptional mindset, and that he is one of the top students in his class. Tristan kisses him, and Mr. Yates kisses him back. Mr. Yates gets on top of Tristan, trying to unbuckle his belt, and he's trying to take off his pants. And, you know, Tristan gets freaked out at that fact because Tristan is indeed a virgin. And, you know, Tristan in a panic gets up and grabs his bag and runs out, and Mr. Yates is very confused. So the next day at school, Tristan walks up and talks to Mr. Yates, and Mr. Yates said that he thought Tristan was mature enough to handle, you know, what was going on between them. Thought he was mature enough to handle what was going to come next. And Tristan said that he didn't think, you know, things were going to happen that fast between them, that, you know, that last night was one of the greatest days, one of the greatest moments he's ever had in his life. And Mr. Yates told Tristan that he needs to understand that whatever happened between them last night cannot be mentioned to anyone. And Tristan said that he agrees and that he's sorry for being immature and for freaking out. So here we go with the gaslighting. He's blaming Tristan, a 15-year-old boy who is a virgin, for freaking out of the idea of having sex with a grown-ass man. You're blaming him because you are grooming this boy, and because things got hot and heavy that he is not ready for, you're telling him that he is not mature enough. He's not mature enough to do what? Tristan is 15 years old. How old are you? Who the fuck knows? But there's other grown men out here that you gotta be having fucking relationships with who want sex and all that. Instead, you want to groom a 15-year-old boy for this. Huh? How is this normal? At the end of the episode, Tristan goes to Mr. Yates' apartment and tell him that his notes that he left on his paper were very exceptional, and then he got inside the modeling shoot. And Mr. Yates said that he was glad that he was able to help and try to shut his door. Tristan stops him. Tristan stops him and tells him that he's sorry if he felt like he was being immature. He just was scared and didn't expect things to go to the next level that fast. And that he wants to show Mr. Yates that he is not an immature kid and that he can handle whatever it is to come next. He kissed Mr. Yates, and Mr. Yates pulled him aside his apartment, indicating that they are about to have sex. I have a lot of problems with this episode, even though this episode has very fantastic writing, and I like how they set up the whole Tristan storyline with Mr. Yates. I just don't like to see the student relationship storylines. I don't. And I feel like, when has there ever been a show, a teenage show that might be, where there has never ever been a student-teacher relationship? I think the only show I can say that I've never seen it happen before is Euphoria. I might be wrong, but I know for a fact for the 2 seasons that I've watched it, I know for a fact I never saw no student-teacher relationship ever. That might be the only teen drama I could think of where there was never no relationship where the teacher was having sex with the student. I don't think so. But why can't there just be a fucking teen drama show where teachers are not fooling around with their students? I understand students have crushes on their teachers. Trust me, I've been there. I have. But I've never done anything where I wanted to actually have sex with my teacher. I've had crushes. I've always found attraction to older men. Always. It didn't matter if it was a wrestler, an actor, or a teacher. I've always had an attraction to older guys. Yes, I've dated guys my age, but I've always had an attraction to older guys. So, when you do something in a show where the student has a crush and the teacher knows that and grooms them into a relationship, we have a fucking problem. Because it ain't the first time we done seen this shit in Degrassi. We saw this shit in, with the Paige and Mr. Odelander relationship, right? Paige had a crush on Mr. Odelander, and he knew that, and that's how he groomed her into having a relationship with him. You feel me? So I'm gonna have to give this episode a 10 out of 10. Definitely interesting. Definitely a lot of good writing. But again, I'm just not a fan of the student relationship. So yeah.